What's up, guys? It's Devin from Neptune Design, and today I want to talk about 5 common mistakes that I see beginners do when building a website. Now, this video is not going to be to criticize anyone, it's just going to help you guys get better at building websites or get better at identifying the things that are bringing your website down. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the first mistake that I see a lot of people do is they don't have any newsletter signups. Now, if you don't have a place on your website to capture client email addresses and details, I want you to consider this. Okay, statistics show that 97% of all first time website visitors don't buy anything from your website. So if 97% of people visiting you don't purchase your product or services, how do we get them to come back again? Now, this is why we need a newsletter sign up. So when we capture the email addresses with a newsletter sign up, it's so that we can take the traffic that didn't buy the first time, but they might be interested in our products or services. It's a way to bring them back on to the website. So I suggest that you get a newsletter sign up, first and foremost. Secondly, I see a lot of websites out there with no blogs. Okay, it is vital for your website to have a blog in today's world. Clients have too much choice and they're looking for reviews and information on products and services. So, how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? That's simple. Develop a deep relationship with your client by constantly giving them useful information. Help them with the everyday problems that they could possibly have. Guide them to your website and the products that can help them solve those problems as well. Blogging takes time, yes, I know. But remember, once you have a loyal client base, you will not have to spend any more money on marketing to people because the people you have already trust you and they are so open to hearing what you have to say, and more importantly, they're so open to buying from you because you're their guy. You're the main dude. You're the guy feeding them all the good information all the time. So get a blog. Number 3. This is actually the reason why I started my business. I would just go onto the internet and I would see these poorly designed websites and I would be like, you know what? There's actually a massive market. There's actually a lot of work to do. Now, I want you to consider a couple of things here. People are visual thinkers. They love to look more than they love to read. So I want you to try and include graphics, eye candy onto your website. Try and include infographics and more images on your website. Don't just put endless paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs full of text and expect that everyone will take the 15 minutes it takes to read all of this text on your website. Remember, people are information rich and time poor. So in other words, people have got too much information and they need to sort through the information to find out what the most useful and the most important information is. And you're not doing them any favors by stacking on these paragraphs of text for them to comb through. So try and include images and try and make your website as visually appealing as possible. Let's talk about readability. Try keeping your website modern with a great color palette. Some websites use terrible color schemes, so try and stay away from a lot of super dark shades of blue, bright reds and yellows and whites. These irritate the eyes of the viewer and cause them to basically stop reading your website and just close it without a second thought. Remember that if these colors are used skillfully, they can be quite powerful in getting engagement from visitors. But if you're building a website for the very first time, with very little experience using colors, then try and stay away from those colors because they actually will do more harm than good. And also pay attention to contrast. What do I mean by contrast? Black font is easy to read on a white background. But if I change that black font to a lighter color, eventually it's going to get to a stage where it's going to get hard for me to pick out the letters, and therefore it's going to be difficult to read. So be mindful of that. That's also a common mistake that I see done a lot. And now we come to the big one. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no point in putting all of that hard work and effort and dedication into your website, but no one can find it on Google search results. You need to optimize your website for search engines. And not only that, you need to use social media to push traffic to your website. But where do you begin with all this SEO and traffic business? Well, the first step is to get Google Analytics. I've got a couple of videos of how to install Google Analytics so that you can start monitoring your traffic coming to your website. If it's too much for you and you're not really a technical person, you can contact us so we can set it up for you. There's a link in the description below. And yes, I know it can be tedious and there's a million things that you'd rather do, but all of these changes to your website, all of these things, if you implement them, your clients will thank you for them, and they'll thank you for them with sales. Remember, you don't have to do all of this work by yourself. You can contact us at Neptune Design and we can help you assess your needs and find solutions to the problems that you have on your website. With that being said, this is Devin from Neptune Design. Thank you very much for your time and have an awesome day.